Vacation is supposed to be a fun experience whether you are traveling alone with friends or family, which is why a student from Vancouver was excited to take on the West Coast. She planned to travel to San Diego, Los Angeles, and her final destination, Santa Cruz. However, she never checked out of the Gisselle Hotel in downtown LA.
This hotel has had a dark and gruesome past. The hotel has held several criminals in the past, including serial killers like Jack Unterweger and Richard Ramirez, also known as the Night Stalker. The Gisselle Hotel has been home to many suicides, 3 murders, and has a lot of crime activity.
In early February, hotel guests started complaining about the low water pressure happening in their rooms. Some people even said that the water had a weird color and smell. On February 19th, the maintenance guy went up to check the water tank and they found Alyssa's naked body in a 4-foot by 8 water tank on the hotel roof with a heavy water lid.
Elisa Lam had been reported missing January 31st. The LAPD was left with many questions about what had happened, but had almost no answers. Elisa Lam's disappearance was very suspicious, which is why the LAPD had to search for any accurate timeline of important dates. On January 24th, around 10 p.m., Elisa wrote a blog post stating her activities for the day, and for the rest of the days she would be in San Diego.
According to the LAPD, Alyssa arrived to LA from San Diego on January 26th later that night. She posted a Tumblr blog talking about how she would be going out that night and hoped that no creeper would come near her. The tag said that she would be going out to listen to live jazz music. Later that night, on January 27th at 3:53 a.m., she posted another blog talking about how she had lost a phone, but it is unclear whether that was the phone she was using to communicate to her family back home.
She checked into the Gisselle on January 28th and wasn't scheduled to check out until February 1st. On January 31st, Elisa was seen in a bookstore owned by Katie Orphan. Orphan, in an interview with CNN, said that her encounter with Elisa was very pleasant and that Elisa had been talking about what books she was going to get her family back home and whether it would be too heavy to carry around in her travels.
According to the Vancouver police, all contact between Alyssa and her family had been lost on January 31st, and according to the LAPD, Alyssa had been seen in the lobby that same day. After Alyssa's family had not heard from her, they reported her missing and flew to LA to help with the search.
On February 6th, the LAPD held a press conference and asked for help of the public to find the missing girl. The police searched the hotel to a legal extent that they could, and when searching on the roof, they found no trace of Elisa Lam. She had last been seen wearing a purple t-shirt, black basketball shorts, and she was not wearing her glasses.
On February 14th, the police released a surveillance video to the public showing footage of Elisa. It is thought to be the last time she was seen. Less than a week after the video was shown to the public, Elisa Lam was found inside the water tanks.
Her family, friends, and the LAPD still had many questions. Officials believe that Elisa had been inside the tank since the night she had disappeared. Her family and friends and the LAPD still had many questions. Officials believe that Elisa had been inside the tank since the night she had disappeared. As the investigation grew deeper, things became stranger and nothing was adding up. When the public saw the video, they were disturbed by what was actually happening. The surveillance video is one of the most discussed aspects in this whole case. The public was speculating about what was actually happening in the video. As soon as Elisa enters the elevator, she is not wearing the clothes that she was last seen in. Her strange movements have been widely discussed, but no one can come to a conclusion about what is actually happening. Some think it might be linked to something paranormal.
Others think she might have drugs in her system, that she was being chased by someone, or that she was having a psychotic episode attributed to her bipolar disease. Notice in the video she is pressing all of the buttons in the middle row, which conveniently have the hold button, which is why people think that the door stood open for that long, and that a ghost was not holding it open. The video that was released to the public by the LAPD is said to be very edited as the video gained more views. People started seeing more and more inconsistencies. For example, the timestamp at the bottom is blurred out. The video has also been really slowed down. There is also a full 54 seconds missing from the video. The video had been cut.
Unfortunately, there is nothing we can do to recover those 54 seconds. But it did spark questions about the LAPD trying to hide evidence from the public. If the footage was cut for time purposes, why show the elevator continuing to work after she walks away? Once Elisa left the elevator, police believe that she found her way to the roof, then inside the water tank. How she got to the roof is still widely discussed. At the Gisselle Hotel, there is only 2 access points to the roof.
To get to the door that leads to the roof, one must go through several doors and stairways that are locked with security codes that only Gisselle employees are supposed to have. The second access point was through an unlocked, unarmed fire escape window on the 15th floor. But when she was on the roof, how did she gain access into the water tanks?
An article released on October 1st by the LAist, the man that discovered Elisa explains that he had to go through a locked stairwell, and once he got through, he had to go to a platform where the 4 tanks were at. Then another ladder to the top of the tanks. When he went to investigate the open latch, he saw Elisa laying face up in the water about a foot from the top.
The same man noted that the tank has a very heavy metal lid that needs to be opened for anyone to get in. The LAPD and her family hoped that once they got the autopsy report, they would have some answers. Jason Tovar performed the autopsy and concluded that on February 21st, Elisa had died from then accidental drowning, with her bipolar disorder being one of the main causes.
However, the official release of the autopsy was postponed several times and it wasn't released until June. According to the autopsy report, Elisa was not clothed. The clothes found with her was said to be the same ones she was wearing in the elevator. There was no wounds on Lamb's body or signs of sexual assault. It was widely reported that there were no drugs found in her system. The only drugs they did find were the ones that were prescribed to her for her bipolar disorder, but they were unable to find the exact quantity of the drug in her body.
Her sister, however, says that she remembers her sister being on 4 different medications, and those medications were found in her belongings. The medications were lamotrigine, Wellbutrin, quetiapine, venlafaxine, and Advil. Lamotrigine is taken for mood disorders. Some of the side effects include depression and suicidal thoughts. Quetiapine is an antipsychotic drug. Side effects include anxiety. Wellbutrin is used to treat depression. Some side effects include anxiety, confusion, and hallucinations, and memory loss.
Quantities of these drugs were not seen as a contribution factor of her death. On the 15th page of the autopsy report, the accident checkbox was marked. Then 3 days later, on the 18th, the could not be determined box was checked. Then on a later date, that box was crossed out with the word error written on it.
Following her death, Elisa's blog continued to post, and people wondered how this was happening. We are still unsure of how that was happening. Still, after the investigation done by the LAPD, there are still very few answers. What would explain her strange behavior in the elevator? Was her depression a contributing factor? How did she manage to open the metal top and undo the heavy latch? Was someone coming after her in the hotel considering its terrible past? Was it a psychotic episode brought by her disorders? Or was this really just an accident?
O'Reilly, say that okay. Okay, hold on.
Or was this really?
Just right there, so it just came.
Como tú
What did you pass?
No sé de dónde llegaste, te pregunté.
lo único
Okay.